Shalom, giving all praise, glory, honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash, double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that teach us this truth. All right, in the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, in the name of the Holy Spirit, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. All right, this is a continual video going into what I went into last time about, the famine. All right, the food crisis that's going on in Gaza. Ultimately, it's going to hit over here in Babylon, the Great America, because, prophecy says, man. And according to the prophecies, all right, this dollar is going to collapse. All right. And once this dollar collapses, and because we already seen the beginning stages of this whole society collapsing, but especially when that dollar collapses, they're going to implement the mandate of the MOTB, the new way of currency. And like I said in my previous video, all right, through the spirit, if you do not have that MARK pursuing to what these devils are trying to push upon you, you will be considered an outcast of society. All right, in a nutshell, you will become homeless. All right, you will become extremely poor. All right, but that's the times that we're approaching and we're living in. Even though all these terrible things are about to happen upon the planet Earth, we're still going to have faith and confidence through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, if it be his will, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. All right, because we cannot make ourselves of the elect. But without further ado, I had typed in food being used as a weapon as people are starved. And that's basically what, the world leaders are doing. All right, whether you people believe it or not, it's order out of chaos, because you have to always ask yourself, why is America doing so much things against their country? All right, they're, giving out billions of dollars in military, technology, all right, stuff for foreign nations, all right? But meanwhile, the everyday average American citizens are still struggling to pay their bills, the ones that working. All right, and there's still a lot of homelessness going on in the streets of Babylon the Great. All right, even to the point that you are a full-time associate, that still is not enough to sustain a okay, decent, living in America, man. But all that is, perfectly designed. First and foremost, we give all credit unto the Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son, Yahweh Yahweh Shai, but he's using these devils to put in their mind to be evil, cruel, wicked. All right, he put in this devil's mind, that has all the riches and the resources of the world, but meanwhile, he don't want to heal America. They don't want Babylon the Great America to bounce back, to be healed from all this debt, or all the violence that goes on here. Honestly, they're promoting this, man. Whether you want to believe it or not, order out of chaos. And we've been telling people about this, man. All right, starting out with our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, but it's just getting more and more closer down to the wire on, us realizing we are at the very end. And we have to keep watching and keep watching unto prayer and pray that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai deliver us in these troubling times. And I'm going to read some of this AI overview. Using food as a weapon, particularly to cause starvation. It is a tactic that has been condemned as a war crime and a violation of international law. It involves deliberate manipulation or denying access to food supplies to weaken or harm civilian populations. This can be done through various means, including blockades, destruction of crops and infrastructure, and the manipulation of food. All right, and this is used as a war tactic. And best believe Esau Edom always had this in the books, how to starve the people out. And I remember the elder apostle Aron Lob had did a video, few moons ago, probably about within like 2 years, 3 years, about how these devils are using food as a weapon. All right, because not only they're putting pollutions, poisons, all types of harmful chemicals to fuck us up, but meanwhile, during the time of crisis, they're going to slow down food productions. You got to also remember about the different warehouses that has stuff to do with food was being burned down. All right, was being destroyed. All that, whether you want to believe it or not, is an inside job, because it's not a coincidence that all these different manufacturing and food storehouses and whatever the case you want to call them just mysteriously started reporting to burn all up. All right, that's not that's they did all that for a reason, because this devil, knowing that he have a short time, Revelation 12:12, he's going to come down with that great wrath, and ultimately that ultimate great wrath is, martial law. All right, the military being in the streets along with the civilians. All right, policing and militarizing your everyday citizens of America. All right, food, holding out foods, so on and so forth. Like I say, the tariff got a lot to do with that. A lot of products and supplies that everyday Americans need or even want, they're not coming into the States like that. All right, and that's all due to Donald Trump, but it's all through the elites. He's been set up to do these things and to cause this much troubles and mayhem. All right, order out of chaos at the end of the day. And that's how these devils, these elites, want to rule the world and conquer the people. All right, they want everybody marked, all right, scannable. But we all always have to say, all right, before we give too much credit to Esau Edom, it's strictly of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, because it is his prophecies. He being the creator of all things. So if he creates Esau, the so-called Caucasian race, and knowing that the Caucasian race is diabolical, don't you think that Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai has created that spirit upon them for a reason? All right. And at the end of the day, yes, the so-called Caucasian race, the white race, will be judged in due time and in due season. All right. But these elites, they're doing their thing, man. And it's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And it says, these are the examples and the consequences. All right. Places that's going through food crisis, so on and so forth. You got Gaza, which is the latest ones. All right. Ukraine, Yemen, Syria, South Sudan, Tigray. All right. Consequences of food as a weapon: starvation and manipulation, increased violence, economic devastation, which is soon to come, humane crisis. If I'm saying it right, Salakia. Yep. That's the times we living in, these elites, man. And, I was meditating on something through the spirit, because the video that Elder Apostle Tahar was doing, going back, back to the basics with the MOTB, it makes perfect sense, because you got to imagine, all right, everywhere in America, Babylon the Great, like I say, the dollar has collapsed. All right, a lot of people are trying to figure out how they're going to pay their bills. First of all, they're going to figure out how they're going to eat. That's the number one thing. And they know by using that food that is going to manipulate majority of the people by getting that MOTB. All right, because they're, at the end of the day, like the elders and apostles say, and it makes sense through the spirit, because eventually you're going to have to give either your trust or your allegiance to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai or to Esau Edom, Satan, the devil himself, man. All right, by taking his mark. And if you receive that mark, the Lord is going to make sure he's going to leave you here and melt you with the nuclear missiles that's going to be shot from one end of heavens unto the next, man. And we believe that because we see World War III brewing up. We know the vast technology and how evil goddamn Dr. Esau is, man. We know how this individual is. All right. So with that being said, hey, these times are fastly approaching. So we ought to be prepared through the Spirit. And I want to get I'm gonna stay over here. KJV Bible. Salakia. They normally post it. Okay, King James Online. All right, Salakia. Second Esdras 9. Second Esdras 9:1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then thou shalt understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world. All right, and that's what we're ultimately going to see. All right, and what causes the uproar or the people to uproar? The mistreating or the misleading or the leadership of these government officials. All right, all type of crisis. All right, the economy, dealing with all that. So there's many reasons why these people are protesting. All right, but they still do not understand and know that it's the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai that's upon these leaders to fuck up like this, because hey, they got orders too. All right, these elites want this place to crash and be full with violence and destruction, because that's Esau Edom memo, man. All you got to do is just look back on the history of the so-called Caucasian race, man. All the shit that they done, and even for the ones, like I said, you know how people be, oh, you had some ones that didn't, believe in that. All right, they, was fighting for, rights and stuff. Hey, still the truth of the matter, the Caucasian race, hey, if you're of the descendant of Esau, you are the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And we do understand that we have confusions of faces. All right, our people amongst the heathens and look like the heathens. This is on 2nd Esdras 15:14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. But there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. And through the spirit, that's, martial law. All right, it's going to be seditions, uprisings of the people, insurrections. All right, people going against the government. All right, people going against themselves for the lack of bread and food. But at the end of the day, hey, that's the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai executing judgments. Verse 18, for because of their pride the city shall be destroyed, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A lot of ransacking is going to be happening in that day. A lot of home evasions. Okay. Verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, and shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods, because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. And that's what's about to come upon Babylon the Great, America. All right, you people ain't seen shit yet, but meanwhile, all these other things are happening all across the world in other countries. But meanwhile, America still hasn't been hit, but soon it will come to pass. So with that, I'm going to close out by saying Shalom, Kahalayan La, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. All right, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone, teach us his truth. Peace, love, and blessings to the elect scattered around the four corners. All right, mainly Babylon the Great. Till next time, Shalom. No, liberty. Shalom.